So, number one, Todd McFarland's passion for toys. Every time this man gets on camera, you can tell he has a true, genuine passion for toy making and just toy collecting, period. Henceforth, that's why he has a lot of chasers you can chase down. He knows the whole culture. He wants to make it fun because he has a true passion, and that goes from sculpts to paint. McFarland toys may not have the best articulation because that's more of a kind of a in the last 10 to 15 year type thing, but he always had the passion for good quality toys as far as paint and the scope and how they look. He's an artist, okay? So he comes from the comic book world, so his visual is going to be a lot different from somebody who just got hired at Mattel or Hasbro. This man is the head of his company, and he has a true passion from the inside out, and also into other factors as movies, comics, cartoons, and etc. His portfolio is actually quite amazing. So we're going to go into number two. He's a pioneer in the toy industry, and that pretty much kind of goes with number one, his passion. So, but he's a pioneer. He's been doing it for 30 years, 30 plus years. And as far as different genres he's in, like I said, he's a comic book artist. Whenever I think of Spider-Man, I don't think really of a classic Spider-Man as far as colorway with the light blue with the red, but as far as how Spider-Man moves. I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. I was a young kid, so my first images of Spider-Man is seeing him with his leg kicked way up in the air and he's doing all these acrobatic moves. And Todd McFarland is the father of that. He made that. He made Spider-Man move like that. He made him almost a contortionist in a certain sense. So every time I have a visual, think of Spider-Man, I'm thinking about his leg kicked up, way up, like almost behind his head. And Todd McFarland is responsible for that. Period. Number three, his toys, the price point, and how much plastic you get for it. I just seen a thing on TNI News with JC saying how McFarland has outsold Hasbro, and you want to know why? Even though he might not have something for you, he will have something for you eventually down the line. But you can't resist it because it's still $19.99, and McFarland is actually at the point where Marvel Legends was back in 2016, 2017, where you can find them on discount for about $15, $12. I brought my Demon figure off Amazon a couple of months ago for $8, and I brought them originally for $15, but $8 for all of this. I mean, how can you deny that, man? I mean, I'm like him right now. I'm putting the figures in the camera, but he's trying to show you. But then also, if you go to his site, which he just got a site up a couple of months ago, you can get bundles for a lot cheaper, as you can see right here. I mean, this is incredible, man. Way more plastic than Hasbro. Anybody right now. You really can't beat his prices. He's hustling, like for real. He's cutthroat. So that's number three. Number four, quality and scope. Which he always cared about. I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier in a point, but that is his main emphasis: quality and scope. He's gonna put way more time into it. Cause you wanna know why? Cause he cares. Just like the last video I showed with G.I. Joe, the time and love because you care. That's the head of their company. This isn't a businessman here. This is an artist in control of a business, basically. So number five, an abundance of characters. He saturates characters where you always have a choice. I know people complain about a lot of Batmans, but he has a Batman for you. He has a Superman for you, like this infected Superman right here. This is my favorite Superman. I pre-ordered this 2 years ago before it came out, and I'm glad I did. It's still low. You can still get him for about $25, $30, but he is dope. He is dope. This is one of the best takes on Superman I ever seen, and his cape is real pliable. Most time McFarlane capes are really hard, but this one's torn up and it's real pliable. You can move it like it's nothing. It moves like almost a cloth substance, but it's dope, man. If you haven't checked out Infected Superman, like I said, he's still cheap. You got Fortnite right here, a Peely Bone, which I never played Fortnite, but I couldn't resist. It's such a good figure, I had to buy it. Then you got Spawn, which is that's his go-to. Spawn with McFarlane is like G.I. Joe to Hasbro. That's all his. He doesn't pay for any rights on that. You got DC Multiverse, Mortal Kombat, etc., etc. on there, man. It's just an onslaught of different avenues you can go with Todd McFarlane. Number 6, he's going into all markets. I mean, he's about to be in the 3 3/4 market, which those figures will be $10, and you get a comic book with it. So he's already beaten out Hasbro, that BS that DC got with the minifigures. And then his 7-inch market, which his 7-inch market, like I said, it's really not my thing. I'm more 6-inch, but I can make his 7-inch market work. And then his figures are so cheap, and some of them are really good that, man, hey, look, you'll pick them up regardless of the fact. Like, I don't know anything about this Bodo Khan. Is that his name? Kodo Khan from Mortal Kombat 11. But this was so good. I picked this figure up back in like December, and I just didn't buy all these. I've been had these. I just ain't had a chance to get around to open them. You okay, baby? Got my daughter in here with me on this. She's laying down while Daddy record. Daddy be done in a second. And then that goes to my next point. Number 8. He is truly for the consumer. He gives you figure stands. He gives you obscure characters. I mean, that's all consumer stuff. The figure stands, I'll admit, some of his figures need it. He still has a hit and miss ordeal, but right now he is just on a tear. He's getting better and better and better with his product, and I can tell he's somewhat listening. So I can tell Todd is a stubborn guy. He's gonna run the way he run, but he is somewhat listening. Which figure stands always came with his figures, because some of them they just can't stand like that. Like that Steppenwolf, that movie Steppenwolf, that Justice League Steppenwolf. Dope figure, beautiful, but he has tiny feet. It's like Shaq wearing a size 8. It's hard for him to stand on that. But Todd is always looking out for the consumer, as far as price-wise, how much plastic he gives you, and he just knows about the toy collector. He's always gonna try to stick to that. Then also to go with the onslaught of characters he got, he gives you dope vehicles like this Bat Cycle. This Bat Cycle is fire, man. And then he also has some other cycles coming out from the newer movie that just look phenomenal. This was a lot cheaper though. Prices are going up. Those other movie motorcycles about 30. This right here costs you about 25. Also right here, this Fortnite Jeep I brought like 2 years ago. I just brought it because I could not resist it. But dope vehicle. It's like $25 for this. Big ATV for the bigger characters that can ride on. And also with his bikes, I tend that the bigger Marvel Legends, the bigger 6-inch figures of any line fit better on his bike. Sometimes it looks like his characters are too big for the bikes he makes, but you get a bigger 6-inch scale figure and these bikes look great. They look phenomenal. The character looks phenomenal on that bike. And then also, number 9, Man-Bat and Killer Croc. These figures made me go, wow, I had to have this. I also have another Killer Croc from the Mattel line. That figure is still good because it reminds me of the cartoon Killer Croc. But this Killer Croc here, I mean, this is something phenomenal, man. This is from the Arkham game. I remember the Killer Croc in that. And this is by far, I think, the best Killer Croc that's ever been made for the price. The Man-Bat. The Man-Bat looks like... I had a Man-Bat from Kenner when I was a kid back in 92, 93 from the animated series. This is by far the best Man-Bat that I ever seen. And I'm like, yo, Todd's killing it now. He's trying to get it now. And these bigger figures, which will go into my next point, can be fit into a 6-inch scale. I'm already looking at this Man-Bat fighting my Mayfax Batman, the Dark Knight Batman, the big thick one. And if you know Man-Bat, he's huge. In the animated series, Batman was flying behind him on a rope. I mean, this thing had a wingspan that was probably 20 feet, it looked like. And that's what this figure looks like. The Killer Croc is just dope. These are 2 dope figures. I just can't wait for them to come. And if you go on his site, they're bundled up. They're mega figures that cost $40, but you can get them for about $33 a piece. If you bundle up on his site. It sucks, you just gotta pay for them outright. But hey, when you do that, you know it's already taken care of. He has cheaper figures, better bundles. He cares about the product. He's also a collector himself. I think his company is about to go far. I don't think you're gonna be able to find them on sale in the future like that. I think as more people pick up on it and start to dig McFarland, especially with this price gouge going up and his figures are staying below $20, people are gonna start leaning on McFarland a little bit more. So get him while you can, man. I think he's doing a great job. I still wish he would do some 6-inch figures, but like I said, his bigger characters, they're gonna be made on a scale big to 7-inch, so they're gonna look phenomenal with the 6-inch, because that's how it usually rolls a lot of times. The 6-inch scale on a bigger character doesn't quite assert that character or fit that character. Really, you really kind of need it big. Like for a good example, you can play off his bigger characters like Diamond Select, like that Immortal Hulk. That's actually the true size of a Gentle Giant Hulk that I would like. I actually got one coming here in a little bit. I would say they're on CMD store, but they're up there. They're $49.99. I call a window on a pre-order when they were still $29.99 and picked up some. But if you're looking for a Immortal Hulk and you're not trying to get really gouged, they got it up there. But they already threw the gouge on there after the pre-orders dropped like 2 weeks ago. Sometimes you say, why Todd? But I'm saying yes, Todd, right now. If it's your first time checking in my channel, put a like, subscribe, comment if you will. And we're going to end this episode like we do every episode. When you walk out the door, make sure you're being a person of integrity. Until the next time, God bless.